We're on the steps of the very famous Riverside Church in New York City, bringing you a message to remind you of how powerful today is, April the 4th. April the 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, murdered in cold blood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, standing with striking sanitation workers. And so first today we have to say we want to stand with all workers and to let you know that we see you. We see you cleaning the dishes, and we see you building our buildings, and we see you caring for our children, and we see you doing all of the heavy lifting. We just came from a moment where we were celebrating Cesar Chavez and his work with the United Farm Workers Movement. So we see you today. On April the 4th, 1967, Dr. King gave one of his most potent speeches called A Time to Break the Silence here in Riverside Church. It was given exactly a year to the date before he died on April the 4th, 1968. And I believe it contains much of the powerful things, the radical vision that he had for the beloved community and for a revolution of values in this country. These were words that scared a lot of folk, but they're words that we need to wrestle with in this time because they're words that are loving. A prophet's words are always loving and toward the end of healing and toward the end of creating wholeness. And so we wanted to share some of these words with our community on this very, very special and potent day. What does it mean to share love when folks are being called less than human? It means that we must stand with them. It means that we must call them family. What does it mean to share love in a time where people don't have housing? It means that we have to build homes. What does it mean to share love in a time when our elders don't even have enough to eat? It means that we share food week in and week out. And so these are the commitments that we make. And these are the same commitments that Dr. King called us to on April the 4th, 1967, from the pulpit of this very church. So I want to just read those words, some of those words to us today. I come to this magnificent house of worship tonight because my conscience leaves me no other choice. I join you in this meeting because I'm in deepest agreement with the aims and the work of the organization which has brought us together, clergy and laymen concerned about Vietnam. The recent statements of your executive committee are the sentiments of my own heart, and I found myself in full accord when I read its opening lines. A time comes when silence is betrayal, and that time has come for us in relation to Vietnam. And some of us who have already begun to break the silence of the night have found that the call to speaking is often a vocation of agony. But we must speak. We must speak with all the humility that is appropriate to our limited vision, but we must speak. And we must rejoice as well, for surely this is the first time in our nation's history that a significant number of its religious leaders have chosen to move beyond the prophesying of smooth patriotism to the high grounds of a firm dissent based upon the mandates of conscience and the reading of history. Perhaps a new spirit is rising among us. If it is, let us trace its movements and pray that our own inner being may be sensitive to its guidance, for we are deeply in need of a new way beyond the darkness that seems so close around us. Over the past 2 years, as I have moved to break the betrayal of my own silence and to speak from the burnings of my own heart, as I have called for radical departures from the destruction of Vietnam, many persons have questioned me about the wisdom of my path. At the heart of their concerns, this query has often loomed large and loud. Why are you speaking about war, Dr. King? Why are you joining the voices of dissent? Peace and civil rights don't mix, they say. Aren't you hurting the cause of your people, they ask. And when I hear them, though I often understand the source of their concern, I am nevertheless greatly saddened. For such questions mean that the inquirers have not really known me. My my commitment or my calling. Indeed, their questions suggest that they do not know the world in which we live. In the light of such a tragic misunderstanding, I deem it of signal importance to try to state clearly and I trust concisely why I believe that the path from Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, the church in Montgomery, Alabama, where I began my pastorate, leads clearly to this sanctuary tonight. And then he goes on at the end of this beautiful, beautiful speech, this powerful speech, this speech of radical love, of wholeness and healing for our nation and indeed for the world. He says this: we have a choice today, nonviolent coexistence or violent co-annihilation. We must move past indecision to action. We must find new ways to speak for peace in Vietnam and justice throughout the developing world. A world that borders on our doors. If we do not act, we shall surely be dragged down the long and dark and shameful corridors of time reserved for those who possess power without compassion, might without morality, and strength without sight. Now let us begin. Now let us rededicate ourselves to the long and bitter but beautiful struggle of a new world. This is the calling of the sons and daughters of God, and our brothers and sisters wait eagerly for our response. Shall we say the odds are too great? Shall we tell them the struggle is too hard? Will our message be that the forces of American life militate against their arrival as full humans, and we send our deepest regrets? Or will there be another message of longing, of hope, of solidarity with their yearnings, of commitment to their call, whatever the cost? The choice is ours. And though we might prefer it otherwise, we must choose in this critical moment of human history. And if we will only make the right choice, we will be able to transform this pending cosmic elegy into a creative psalm of peace. If we will make the right choice, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our world into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood and sisterhood. If we will but make the right choice, we will be able to speed up the day all over America and all over the world, where justice will roll down like the waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream.